I'll do some astrology for us some more because, well, we have an exciting July. Uranus goes into Gemini here on the 8th. We have Neptune that's going backwards in Aries now. Pluto is already going backwards. It's sextile to Aries, which is a good aspect. And Saturn is also sextile to, and so is Neptune, to the Gemini Uranus. We have Jupiter traipsing along through through Cancer. We have Mars in Virgo that's hitting 10 degrees right about now. And it doesn't feel good for me because it kind of opposes my Jupiter, and I'm playing guitar and I'm recording it. I don't know if you've been looking at those, and it's very unsatisfactory to me anyway because I'm kind of better than that, but I'm always going to say that, you'll see. I mean, even though I put something together really well, and maybe it's a spontaneous live play, I'm always self-criticizing myself. It kind of hits my, well, mainly we want to talk about the Virgo, the Mars in Virgo isn't a bad thing for us all. It just, I'm talking about my little spell of really, I am trying to raise money for my life, I guess. Yeah, I'm in a horrible, it's sad what I'm going through. So, but anyway, don't want to give any sadomasochists that hit of crack, So I keep smiling through it all and trying to see through and see a light at the end of the tunnel. But it's important, to not just stay in dreamland, right? And I'm not dreaming. I mean, I have these things going on. Anyway, this is what I wanted to do, is I wanted to do some astrology, babes. Not talk about, see, we have Mercury in Leo going retrograde on the 18th. I'm sure you've heard of that, right? And so I'm going to talk about that. It happens to go retrograde exactly opposing my moon, right on the opposition of my moon. So, my God, my moon in Aquarius, it tries to be a moon there, it's not the best place for the moon. It's not the best place for the moon when it comes to emotional stability. How do you like my disco ball back there? You can't hardly see it in the sun, but it's causing that shiny look that you see flashing in the camera. Anyway, catching the afternoon sun there. It's pretty wild. We have a good news. It's kind of interesting. We do have this continued kind of mild, but it's still there. Your Venus conjunct Uranus, but see, Venus is going into Gemini today. That 0 degrees Gemini, and but the big thing, next, besides for how that Neptune does go backwards, and then within just 1 week, Saturn begins to go backwards, and they both go into Pisces for the last time. Saturn being for the last time in 30 years, or for 30 years, and then Uranus for the last time I'm sorry, Neptune, it will be in its placement for 165 years or something like that. I think it takes a whole 165 years to go around, and it's just kind of it is just so remarkable, you guys, what we're going through, and it's affecting us each differently, but then again, we are a collective whole, and we can't ignore each other and the effect we are having on each other, as far as, like, well, see, the Pluto in Aquarius begins to make us look at humanity with quite the investigative style, which doesn't miss a darn thing, negative and positive. I mean, it's just pulling up grunge, and as you know, we've learned a lot over the last 14 years. It being in Capricorn, we kind of suspect that maybe the population is being manipulated like full on by technology, right? And the ability to communicate through there. We can't just brush it under the carpet, really. There's a lot of atrocity happening just based in that if you say something or you say the right thing, really, it's not say the wrong thing. If you say the right thing, you get mobbed upon, right, by the ones that get protected. Anyway, minute 5, wanted to make this a long video somewhat. Hi, how are you guys doing? You know, this Mercury retrograde that comes up, but see, we're really going to be affected by the Uranus moving into Gemini. It's already kind of moving that way. But when it shifts signs like this, for sure, it's different. It's very different than the vibration of Taurus. And so, oh good, there's my kitty cat. She's right there. Hi, baby. Oh, she's so wonderful and green. Pardon me. Oh, she's so great. And it just, I cherish every moment that she walks back in the door, that we live another day here, you know. Hi, she's so great. Oh. So, yeah, I apologize about some of the music really personally. I can put together something better, like say just at least using my camera on my iPhone, right? Because it's a much better crispy quality and it's much better sound, and right. So I do feel myself being stifled by energies around me that, yeah, I'm just realizing it's like, no, they are they just picked on me. Basically they did. See, I'm an 11, and when that's happening, most likely they're intimidated by something. They just can't live up to something about the Aries. I'm just gonna say it like this, babes. All of humanity is gonna have to stand up and get the fuck off. They're gonna get off their knees through this transit. That's what's going to structure up, is that somebody's going to get some knees under them and they're going to stand up, and that's the Saturn in Aries. But it being next to Neptune, it's very remarkable. It is the most amazing time to be alive with that particular thing, let alone that some entire ages are wrapping up, like, you know, this 26,000 year age is wrapping up here. That's all, you know, and the end of Kali Yuga, supposedly. I think it's more like the pause where you look around and you go, what a mess. And how do we click out of it? Like, when you do, and if you do, which side do you go to? Do you go to the side that feels like everything is going to hell when really it's actually getting better? Because there's two types here. Heaven is hell and hell is heaven. That's the, their up is our down, and their what makes them happy makes us sad, and what makes us happy makes them sad. And you've experienced that with your narcissist. I'm not talking about anything different. When we're looking at the energies that is happening on this plane, and what's going on with that, see, people need to wake up, basically. And see, my cat likes to chase around the lights, and I'm gonna try and film her doing it. Sorry about that. But anyway, I am looking for support. I would like to meet people in my life that, well, we're not free of our toxicity, you know what I mean? Uh, Maybe we are just trying to get better, I guess. How about you? I've been trying to do that. It's some healing time for me, and I was wondering if I could be helped by getting a little cheery, at least an emoji, right? I'm so tired of asking for money here, but I'm getting to the point where I will be able to communicate with people, but more, see, I would love to have a better rapport with people instead of them pitying me, you see. So that's up to me to try to change. See, I'm afraid of, well, for all of us, babes, this Neptune and Saturn going backwards into Pisces is like a trip, because it's gonna pull up this patheticness that I know that I'm so done with it. But I've been doing it here for the last 4 years, kind of showing you what I'm going through, starting with the Neptune opposed my Venus, which is not easy. That's a 165 years that you would experience an opposition to one of your planets, and it just so happened that it happened to me. It was epic when it was going on for people too, because Jupiter did go up and conjunct Neptune, and it was also opposed by Venus. So, like, everybody was feeling this weirdness. I don't even want to talk about it, but it did have something to do with religious feelings, I guess. Let's just say, but apparently the entire organism is hooked up into this Christ Jesus thing or something. Like everybody has this passion or something, maybe. And if not, well, then what is it? Is it just completely neutral and saying, you know what, I do not even want to hear the story? Like, I didn't go and to the Passion of the Christ movie, and I didn't identify with a single character there, right? It's just a story. That's one thing that I will be kind of putting my snorkel on and spouting underneath all of it. It's going to be kind of an emotional cesspool, I think. And if it's not already, really, I'm talking about the fact of the Neptune conjunct Saturn going back together in Pisces. By the time it's October, we're going to be feeling it. It's going to be like this look back into the past of something that um, uh, what I'm talking about is the past that needs to die. All of these. See, a belief is the past. The mind is the past. And that does include the belief systems and the stories that you're told and the programming that you are under that makes you behave in a certain way, I guess, towards, mainly the concern is towards each other. You know what I mean? Christ was here to teach us of, first of all, holding up a cure, and that cure is love. It's really to choose the human side, which is that knows how to be vulnerable, and because otherwise you experience fear and you bottom out, and you do not get out of your head. First of all, I was going to say out the door, and it can be like that, right? I know that a lot of us, particularly Aries, can get into too much worry, and then, but a lot of us, humanity itself, if you ask me, we're experiencing one last hermitage. It's interesting because it's like we want to reach out, but we want to recede. It's like we're not quite ready yet, or something like. And it has nothing to do with us. There's a collective. There's a thing going on. Divine timing, you want to call it. We don't control any of it. How do you like my lights going everywhere, hither and thither? It's from the. Here, let me go move the disco ball one more little spin here and there. You know, in case you like that kind of thing. Um, I'm kind of making it interesting. Whoops, pardon me. Because maybe Mr. Rogers and I have something. Well, now it's going too fast that you can't see it. But anyway, I thought that I would continue on trying to do astrology. See, confused people, toxic people, uncreative people, you're a narcissist, you can't be around them because they cause confusion in you. They will make you toxic with uh, just your way of now having to deal with things, which is half-assed, because that's how they are. I mean, it's not even that, right? It's a it's a horrible presence, right? It could be no different than creepy. You know what I mean? It's like, God, these people, and they have a. You just have to listen to their shit, and it's hard to tell who's who. Hello, hi, how are you? Fucking hit like and subscribe if you know what I mean with that, because well, anyway, that's just the way it is. So I don't want to talk about that. I just see, I will tell you that I've never been so close to it in my life in just the last 4 years. Well, come on, babes, this is fucking spiritual warfare that we're talking about. And having said this, now it's minute 16. Do you realize that some of the organism has been jacked up, man, and programmed to fight that war? And it's, yes, basically geared to fight itself, against itself. Why? Because they need volunteers. Did I show you what volunteers are? Who are they? Whatever it is that conducts your projector system out there, which is your television set and just the way the hell the things are. Like you never even think about it. See, they feed you a story about evolution or progress being made, and that yeah, the history, all that stuff, right? Nancy knows what I'm saying. Hi, Nancy, long time no see. I figure that a lot of people think that I'm really shady or something because of the way I talked about these court cases and stuff, and it's like, no, it's a very real thing, and you need to understand that it kind of expands and really, with this Neptune fucking aspect, it's bringing clarity to a lot of us who are very frank. That is the Aries people who are, it's really the part of the organism that says, excuse me, but that stinks, don't do that. And they'll just say it right away. And then, like 15 people that are, I don't know, pigs, I guess, in the mud, will say, they might not retaliate right then, but they'll get together with each other and say, actually, we like our mud, and Aries doesn't like their mud. And so now there's a mob against Aries, and we've experienced that. But see, it's the part of the organism that is healthy and kind of knows, you respond to it authentically. It's usually your first gut feeling, and then when you see how your narcissist or your toxic people around you uh, hit you in the gut continuously. Okay, so getting back into this programming system, I don't doubt that, see, with Uranus going into Gemini, and we have Mercury in Leo going backwards, what a weird, everything is sextiling. It's kind of good. That's a good aspect. It means it's 60 degrees away and it creates a star. But this, the way we need to communicate, so it's going to be theatrical, I guess. And see, right now it's in retrograde shadow. Pay attention to what's been going on because, it's been in retrograde shadow for a while now. It's been beginning at the beginning of July because it goes all the way back to 4 and so it hits 5 degrees. So there's things going on, pardon me. Well, I would say that it's historically, right? And it pertains to your life also. In communications, Sagittarius, it makes me think of, well, religious beliefs and how do we align that way? My cat's laying right there. Just wanted to show you guys I have life around me. I love her a lot. She's so amazing. Anyway, Sagittarius, Mercury, I'm sorry, Leo. I said it was a Sagittarius. No, it's Leo. So it pertains to, well, it's a high energy, a lot of ego. It's almost like it's too immersed in the sun energy, in the ego energy. I might say I don't know what we're going to get done with Mercury going backwards into Leo, and it's starting with its shadow right now. But now I'm here to tell you, with doing my inner work, like the whole entire organism is, though, hi, I'm humanity, and Aries is having to do introspection. All of us should be doing this, though, because this is the most heavy time that we've gone through, let alone this entire year. But see, this year, and it's like this month, this summer, three major planets are changing signs. You know, if you want to talk about, Jupiter did, and then Saturn, of course, and then Neptune did, and then Uranus. Say four major planets, and but the Uranus takes the cake. It's a big thing if you're a Gemini, or if you're a, let's just pick on Gemini because that's the only sign in the zodiac. It's hitting once in every 88 years. Will that happen? And they happen to be going through it now. Just big change, you know. It's always usually should be for the better. Narcissists, you know, it means that you're progressing. You're just learning. That's all. You're learning. You're not de-evolving. You're gaining. And a lot of times, well, you know, with how it is with true spiritual value, when you do gain any kind of spiritual value, like what the Buddhists say in Buddhism, when you become, or when you become awake, there's nothing is gained. In fact, a lot of things are dropped. And boy, do I feel that coming on. It's like, you know what? We need to collectively understand how to do that and how to live. There's where I know it's like, okay, you know, I need to get out of where I am, the community that I'm in, but it's like, but where are you going to go, Shauna? I know that you guys have heard this all before. But I say, babes, we have a community right here, believe it or not. We are supposed to, on a collective scale, we're supposed to play a video game that spells out something very obvious. It's in front of our face. Who found out the way that it should be played? Well, you know, it might happen that some other people will say, no, this is it. You have enlightened people, and then you don't. You have people that have yet to become. The enlightened people are suffering because of the unenlightened people chased them down. And if you want to say kill, hi Jesus, was that you getting killed by the unenlightened people? It sure was, hon, and I love you. You do? Yes, I really do. Okay, well, yes, okay, right on. Not a popular person, by the way. A lot of people are doing glorification of that figure. I mean, really, what it's just a story. First of all, people, hello, can you just sober up? Right? But no, it never dies because it's your story. If you ever get an ounce of your authentic self on, right? If you get your nervous system on and you say no to a freaking narcissist, and it happens to be that it's like, no, this is what society says that this is the best thing. And we also speak like a bunch of toddlers, something like that, right? And you're like, oh, I say it's called, you've hit a spiritual ceiling, a spiritual glass ceiling. You were supposed to, I'm talking to one single generation now, and see, other people in my generation may not feel this way, but you will feel this way about somebody. And I say, support them. That there are leaders rising up, and they're saying, excuse me, and it's time to communicate. And how do you communicate? Well, we have a video game here called social media. And I'm here to tell you as a smartass that there isn't any, there's two types here. One of them is capable of being social. The other one is perfectly incapable of socializing. They have a bit of a problem. You know about your narcissist, right? That's one thing that you'll see that they don't do well. Not really. They're, see now, what I mean is, we all know that they are horrible with the one-on-one. It's really illusory though, right? It has been morphing the experience of your narcissism in general, the toxic people. It's like, to me, they're being fucking remote controlled or something, you know what I mean? The government has them right under remote control. They are firing off as planned to to kill their enemy, which is the enlightened people who say, "Excuse me, but boy, this could be done in such a more holistic, healthy, meaningful, and better feeling manner." Maybe. What's your example, Shauna? Oh my God, you guys think with me. I mean, how do they ruin a potato? You know, when you go out and get French fries, you know, they just ruin it. It's just full of chemicals, right? And then look at the business there going on and how busy everybody seems to be. I hope that you figured out how to fucking relax during Uranus and Taurus and the value of meditation and really just being in your microcosm and making it like really utterly important to get the biscuits right or to sweep the floor or to align some stones in a certain way or to rake the really I'm serious because what we're about to see now with Uranus going into Gemini, if you don't know how to handle this, I mean you thought that just exposing people to the information highway was a problem with people's mentalities. Just we've seen people go crazy, especially over the last 4 or 5 years with the announcement, right? And everybody has to put their mask on and deal with like kind of quicken up this fucking shit that they want washing back and forth until it just flies off the handle. And have we had enough of that? I think so. It's definitely reached my neck of the woods, and it's like, all right, so you can just tell the part of the community that does not live in intention, but it's just that other. There's two types here, and that other type is perfectly unconscious. They don't live in intention, so they could go to the beach and get burned really bad because they don't go to the beach usually. They don't intend to go any. They don't intend on checking into reality at any one time, no matter where they go. They're imagining a life to be, you know. So the beach is definitely one of them. I mean, it could be a miserable thing for them. They don't, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm sorry. There are some people that are living a kind of awkward, right? You know, just I get the vision of teenagers, how teenagers never, they just think they know better and that they have something else better to do other than just be present with what's happening, right? And they're in between. Their parents are still kind of dragging them around and they have to do things mainly because the parents don't want them to get, they don't want to get in trouble. So they have to really clamp down on their teenager and the teenager is kind of just putting their heels in the dirt to all activities, even though it's a bitchin' thing to do and they always want to do it. Uh, some of why am I bringing that up? Um, anyway, I hope you liked this video. I will play guitar more, but I'll make sure that it's put together with some lights and my electric guitar and my camera. And it takes a little bit of time now. What I was talking about earlier about how it also takes a higher vibrational frequency. Well, there's some planets in the sky that aren't in favor of my display, and unless I display it like that and take sweet time and practice, see, and but even still, it's like, yeah, Shauna, what is your style? You know, well, I have many different styles. To tell you the truth, it can go into some weird stuff, and you just have to wait for it, I guess. Otherwise, yeah, there's many different styles, and so you know, just getting started, just getting warmed up, just getting back into it, it could be strange. I just hope that something new and different comes out of it for everybody. I think it's needed. Just $5 will give me a sign. Yeah, I know that's a cheap number, but really I'm trying to raise $12,000, and so wish me luck, you guys. What do you think I should do? Just hit the poll in the back? Yeah, send a really big donation, and then I'll talk to you privately. I do not want to bum anybody out. I know for a fact that when you start talking about your personal problems to some people, like personally, that you're non-self-reflective and you start just dumping on people, right? It could drain them. It could be a bad experience for them, and I don't want to be that for anybody. So did you turn this off yet? You should have.